I bet most of you watching this video know this feeling. You walk into a room and suddenly everything goes quiet. You say something and you clearly see that look. That look that says, "Why are you bothering us right now?" Or worse, they ignore you completely. You weren't yelled at, you weren't hit, but you felt that chill. It was in the sigh they let out when you walked through the door. It was in how they always remembered your siblings' achievements, but forgot your birthday. Truly, this isn't just a bad feeling, folks. This is the deepest psychological wound silently controlling your adult life. The unwanted child wound. And today, I'm going to show you why you constantly fear rejection, why you always choose toxic partners, and most importantly, how to stop letting that past define you. Let's get started. I used to think that people who were hurt because they were hated. But the wound is much deeper than that. When you were a child, your parents and relatives weren't just caregivers, they were your entire world. So when that world consistently sent signals of rejection, whether it was harsh words or cold silence, your young brain didn't think, my parents have psychological issues. No, your brain automatically thought, something must be wrong with me. I'm not good enough. I am unworthy of love. That is the key difference. Being hated is an external state. Unworthiness is an identity you adopt. You reprogrammed yourself to believe, I have to earn love, right? That's why, as adults, we become room-reading experts. We can tell who is sad or angry just by a slight frown. Why? Because back then, our safety depended on predicting when the emotional storm would hit. It was a survival skill, not a born gift. One of the cruelest parts of this is the invisible comparison within the family. I remember once, my older sister was praised by my parents for getting good grades. I went and found a pen, like I had fixed this broken pen. I brought it to show off, and everyone just looked at me, smiled slightly, and went back to talking about my sister. That feeling, it wasn't jealousy. It was a signal deeply etched into your brain. Your achievement isn't big enough to be loved. You have to try harder. So when we enter the adult world, we carry this filter. At work, when your boss praises a colleague, your heart clenches. A small critique in an email keeps you up all night. You will overachieve, people please, and won't dare to say no, because subconsciously, you are trying to prove what your parents failed to acknowledge back then. I deserve to be here. Sound familiar? And here is what I want you to understand most clearly. This is the core secret that took me years of my life to realize. You are mistaking your survival mask for your true self. The truth is, the unwanted child doesn't disappear. It creates masks to survive. The perfectionist mask, if I am perfect, I won't be rejected. The people-pleaser mask, if I say yes to every request, I will be kept around. Or the rebel mask, I will push people away before they can push me. The thing is, this is not you. This is the defense mechanism your brain created to shield your hurt self, like a suit of armor. But over time, you start thinking, this is who I am. You live decades under the weight of a role you never consciously chose. Brain decoding. Our brain loves familiarity. It even prefers familiar pain over a new safety. So it will constantly direct you towards high-pressure jobs, toxic relationships, because those things, they feel like home. The shocking truth is, your very perfectionism is what keeps you stuck in that past. Holy cow. So how do we take off that mask? Well, it's not about erasing the past. It's about reprogramming your nervous system. Psychology calls this reparenting, nurturing yourself. It sounds complicated, but I have just 3 super simple action steps for you. Step 1, name the pain. Start journaling, but not just to vent. Write down, my feeling of rejection at age 8 was X. Today, a colleague ignored me and I felt Y. When you name the experience, it stops being vague shame. It becomes a wound that can be treated. It's not your fault. It's something that happened to you. Step 2, self-talk shift. This is the hardest, but the most important part. Every time you self-criticize, you're terrible. How could you mess that up? Stop immediately. Imagine an 8-year-old standing in front of you who just spilled milk. Would you yell at them? No. You would say, It's okay. Everyone makes mistakes. Well, say that same exact phrase to yourself. That is self-compassion. And step 3, build your chosen family. We're hardwired to seek connection, right? If your original family couldn't give you safety, you must choose your own. Find friends, partners, and communities who see you and believe in you unconditionally. Neuroscience has proven intentional, safe relationships can literally rewire your nervous system. In short, you are not condemned to live in that fear forever. But friends, this path has a dangerous trap that I personally fell into. Let me tell you a slightly embarrassing story of mine. When I first started working, I worked for a very toxic company. My boss was the type of person who was always critical, always putting pressure on us. Everyone told me to quit, but I kept thinking, I have to prove to my boss that I'm good. I worked for 14 hours a day. I was burnt out. Then one time, I presented an idea and my boss shot it down. That night, I went home and felt intensely heartbroken. I cried. I thought I was sad because I lost an opportunity. But actually, the trap is this. I unconsciously chose a work environment that felt exactly like the feeling I used to have at home. That rejection, that criticism, it created familiarity. I was stuck in this disguised trap. I thought I was fighting for recognition, but I was actually recreating the old wound. So my warning is, don't mistake the familiarity of suffering for love or worthiness. If a relationship, a job, or a family consistently makes you feel invisible and not good enough, leaving is not giving up. It is self-respect. We started with the image of a child sitting alone at the dinner table feeling like an intruder, and I want to end with a different image. That child is still inside you. They are still waiting to be seen. The biggest transformation is not about finding a better job or a partner who loves you more. The transformation is the moment you choose to turn back, look that child straight in the eyes, and say, "You have suffered so much, but from now on, you are safe. You don't have to earn love anymore. You are already worthy." That love doesn't need to be borrowed from anyone. It is the love that says, "You exist, therefore you matter." You are not condemned. You are the author of your future. If this video resonated with you, leave a yes in the comment section. Share it with someone who also needs to hear this. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel so we can continue to decode the mysteries of human psychology. Thank you all so much. See you next time.